What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. Andrew Herbert here. Wanted to mention a few things. First and foremost, it's the 30th of March, so the last day to go to animalpack.com and get some of this swag on sale. And you get some free goodies and stuff like that, free shipping if you buy like more than two things or whatever. And these are the joggers, super comfortable. I've been lounging around in them in this quarantine. I like this shirt, the baseball tee. So I think you'll enjoy it. Check that stuff out. Go to the website. A few other things about this whole quarantine, shelter in place thing. Obviously, it's kind of weighs on everybody. And so first, I hope everyone's doing all right. For me, kind of part of my life philosophy, which I think may, be helpful, is to, even when things are bad, focus on what's good, or focus on what I'm fortunate for, And so, like, and it kind of has to do with how you frame things too. Like when someone says, "Oh, shelter in place," yeah, that sucks. But then when you think, at least I have a place in which to be sheltered, because a lot of people don't have that, then you realize, we're lucky. I'm healthy, so I'm lucky in that. Another way, like I still do my job because it's considered essential service. And so, while yes, it's work, yes, it puts me at more risk of the virus or whatever. I feel fortunate that I can do it. So when I leave the house some, but also, make income as well. A lot of people lost their jobs. So just kind of a perspective thing. All right. Another thing on that, we're stuck at home most of the day or all the day. I think the home workout stuff and the home nutrition meal prep has really been done well on social media. So, I'm not going to get into that. I think there's plenty of other people covering that. I want to cover two things that haven't been covered as much. And one is to take advantage of this time where you have to be home. It's a good time to practice something that I think is very important and underutilized, and that's meditation. And meditation can come in many forms. I think the misconception is that meditation has to be sitting with your legs crossed and your hands like this and saying, not the case at all. Meditation can happen sitting, standing, lying down, while you're eating, doing lots of things. It's all about being mindful, so it's called mindfulness meditation. I consider prayer to be a form of meditation. So it takes many forms, but it's all about kind of going inside, blocking out all the outside things. And thankfully, there's a lot of good apps to help facilitate, working on your mindfulness meditation. I was fortunate, I started learning about it in high school, actually. I had a really good biology teacher, Miss McBride, who started teaching me about it, and then I learned progressively over the years about it. A number of good books that discuss it. An easy way that I advise people to practice mindfulness is sit comfortably, and that's why I say it's very important to not think that you have to sit with your legs crossed, because especially for some of us powerlifters, that may not be the most comfortable position. Sit where you're comfortable and just focus on your breathing. That's it. Block everything out. And so part of the mindfulness mentality is kind of stepping back and just viewing everything in life as kind of an object passing before you and not something that's internalized. So anyway, that's that. Give it a shot. And then lastly, reading. Now's a good opportunity to read stuff. So most of the stuff I read is I do Audible, some Audible books, but that's what gets me through traffic a lot, but there's no traffic now, which is another thing where I'm fortunate that there's no traffic, although it means, everyone's stuck at home. But so you can read, go old school and read the actual books. I want to show you some books that I either am reading or have read, and it's kind of a variety. Maybe it'll inspire you to check them out. I hope so. So first of all, right here, the Book of Joy, and it's basically conversations between Reverend Desmond Tutu and the Dalai Lama, and it's all about life, happiness, joy, things like that. You know, two very, very smart, very, very experienced men, just talking all about, you know, being happy, but, you know, the ways to achieve that. Obviously, both come from different religions, faiths, but they have a lot of similar philosophies. I don't know if anybody watched The Wire on HBO, one of the greatest series ever. This book, Homicide, was the precursor to it. It's by David Simon, and he embedded himself in Baltimore PD homicide unit for a whole year. And so went on a bunch of homicide cases, watched the investigations, everything like that. And that's what made The Wire such a good TV show, is that it was actually a fairly realistic portrayal of law enforcement and investigations, particularly in the city of Baltimore. So check that out. Another one, this one's maybe a little more morbid, but On Killing by Lieutenant Dave Grossman and Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman. You know, and it's all about the history of humans killing humans, which obviously has always been a thing. And, you know, especially if you're involved in military or law enforcement or any job where lethal force comes into play, or if you had been in the past, or if you're considering for the future, you know, or if you carry, you know, a responsible gun owner and you're carrying, which I strongly believe in, you know, but with the responsibility that comes with that is that you may, you know, have to take a life in self-defense or defense of another person. And so this book is all about the psychology of that. It's very interesting. It talks back to historical battles where the evidence shows actually that most of the folks involved in the battles were unwilling or unable to kill their opponents. Some of the training actually that has changed those odds now to where some soldiers and other folks are more able to kill, you know, which has both good and bad aspects. So check that out. Another one, and this is one example of several. So Malcolm Gladwell is probably my favorite author. He's written a bunch of great books. I've read all of his books. They're fantastic. So David and Goliath was the latest one that I read. He wrote The Tipping Point, Blink, Outliers. Really easy to read. The guy's a genius, and he kind of breaks down real life stuff in a way that really makes you think. So I highly recommend anything by Malcolm Gladwell. Two more books. This one, High Price by Dr. Carl Hart. This is a great book, and it's all about drug policy in the United States. And I have some pretty strong opinions on that, and they differ from the status quo. I've discussed it with a few people. In Dr. Carl Hart, brilliant man. He grew up in, I believe, Miami, in a not so great environment. So he has experience firsthand and secondhand with drug culture, drug use, the negatives therein, and some of the non-negatives therein. I'll put it that way. So check that book out. Lastly, The Anatomy of Violence. And this is written by a psychologist, and what it's all about is brain anatomy, looked at through actual autopsies, but as well as functional MRIs, and the different anatomical differences that indicate when a person is predisposed to violent behavior, and also the factors that can affect that, such as the mom's nutrition while pregnant, or nutrition early on in development, or trauma to the brain, a bunch of different factors that can alter brain chemistry and brain anatomy and predispose someone to psychopathic behavior. So that's interesting stuff. I kind of geek out on it. Anyway, it's been a long video, but we're all stuck at home, so hopefully it's not really too much of a waste of your time. If you check out any of those books or look into any of the meditation stuff or anything at all, please comment, talk to me. I welcome it. I wish you all the best in these times. So let's look out for each other. Let's support each other. Let's stay positive and stay grateful for what we have. All right, later.